late start. We've got a little bit of a change here. Ladies, gentlemen, both and neither, welcome to a very unique edition of the Three-Headed Monster. Let's give it up for your three-head stratospheric! Lord Pandez! My name is Alkali, and we are your three-headed monster for the evening. What this panel is, we don't know because we just changed the format backstage. Oh, God. Is everyone having a good convention? Yeah! Well, we all agree it's about time for closing ceremonies, right?
Yes. One more day. One more day. One more day. One more day.
You're the
you take over.
Hey,
you take over.
Hey, buddy, we're at a Broadway-themed convention. Are you sure it's not one day more?
One day more. Come on and hang out with us. We're gonna have lots of fun. One day more.
Okay, so I have to ask, who here was at opening ceremonies? Tell me, with a round of applause, was not that one of the best opening ceremonies you've ever seen? How did that come about? Like, did the theme come first, or did that come first? Because if I had thought of something like that, I would have built a whole theme around it.
So no, the theme came first. It was one of the themes that were up for nomination, and then it won. And we're like, okay, so we got to start thinking of some theming things. And my brain, like the way my brain works, it's just that it will just snap and lyrics will just flow if I hear a song. Like, okay, so I have it here.
Sing us a song, Pandas.
Sing us a song, you are Lord Pandez.
Sing us a song, you're gay.
So like a bunch of the songs. So the one that Hatter sang, which was from Beetlejuice, they wrote that one. I actually think one of the first ones I came up with was actually from Defying Gravity. So it's like, I feel a change within me, growing fur and bushy mane. I'm through with going by anything but my furry name. So but I'm like, I couldn't do the tune for it. So Nikki was like, I can take that one. I'm like, great. You take that one. I'll do the King. I'll do Rainbow. Joseph, thank you. Evita. So they were just all snippets, and I just were lyrics flowed. There were some I just didn't get a chance for. I was trying to work on, didn't quite get it. We've got Arden, Artist Sally, Indie FurCon, who could ask for anything more? We've got cool stuff in Dealer's Den, Indie FurCon, who could ask for anything more? Old Man Pandas, oh don't mind him, he's just passed out on the floor. Now it's time for Three-Headed Monster. Alkali status Des, who could ask for anything more? Who could ask for anything more?
Nice! Very nice!
And then, of course, there's lyrics that came to mind from Broadway musical songs that had nothing to do with furry that I knew I couldn't do at opening, but I'll feel free to share here if you'd like.
Oh, please, Pandas, come on! Sharing is caring!
Of course, the classic Little Orphan Annie. My bum will come out tomorrow. Bet my bottom will be sore tomorrow. But I'll have fun. Not appropriate for opening.
Bullshit.
Mary Poppins?
Yeah.
Let's go smoke some weed. It's what my anxiety needs. Let's all go smoke some weed.
I like this version.
Alexander Clamilton. My name is Alexander Clamilton. There's a million lakes I haven't swum. Just you wait, no clam bakes.
Oh my God.
It doesn't work because it's not actually a crustacean bait, but I'm not throwing away my pearl. I'm not throwing away my pearl. I'm maybe just a crustacean from the underwater nation, but I'm not throwing away my hurl. And Boozy was like, that's not a crustacean.
That sounds like Boozy.
I tried to do something for, instead of Suddenly Seymour, Suddenly Pandas. Nothing. I couldn't come up with anything. Like, Suddenly Pandas. There's nothing.
I had the first 2 words. That was fine. Opening ceremony's over. Leave. That's awesome.
But yeah, like for me, it's just weird. Like sometimes I will sit there and I will look at the lyrics and I'll just be like, I got nothing. And sometimes I'll just be like, and written a song in 5 minutes. Like, that's what happened with Piano Fox. For Fox and Pepper, Piano Man.
Yeah.
Like somebody randomly said on Twitter, Fox and more. He's the Piano Fox. Sing us a song, you're Piano Fox. Sing us a song, or play us a song tonight. And someone just like read that tweet, and then I'm like, respond with a lyric, respond with the next lyric, respond with the next lyric. People are like, what is going on? I'm writing a song in real time on Twitter. Deal with it.
Now, Stat, as you're a lyricist, you just, I don't think anyone knows about this, but you just had a CD get dropped.
Yeah, nobody knows
No
about
one
it.
knows about it.
Not a single person.
Yeah,
What?
no.
I released a CD. This is news to me.
Buy it! Somebody else buy it! What's your process? How do you write your material? How do you write your CDs?
So my process is the fact that there isn't one, first of all. It pisses me off because sometimes the process is, I'm going to sit down and write a song about this. Let's make this happen. And then sometimes I go blank for a week after I'm panicking to try to get a fucking song for the album, and it comes to me when I get home from a baseball game at 1 in the morning. I'm like, now we're gonna do this shit? I needed this 2 weeks ago, and we're gonna do this now? But no, honestly, there really is no process. It's just 3 a.m. in my underwear, alone in my bedroom.
Fair enough.
That's the process.
Fair enough. No, that makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. Oh my God. I'm looking at my notes. So these were my notes. You can barely see the paper. It's almost see-through because I had them in my breast pocket and sweated through them. So I can read the word "the great smoke-off" and very little else. And I don't know what that's referring to, but I think I left myself a note to use the paper as rolling paper when this panel is over. It is a reference to Shel Silverstein, actually. The Great Smoke-Off is one of my favorite songs by Shel Silverstein. If you don't know this about me, I do enjoy a bit of the cannabis every now and then, if every now and then is every then. I know!
This is the first I'm hearing about this.
But the weird thing about that was, they started legalizing it before the pandemic. So there was a short time before FurCons had to go to online only, where I was going to conventions and experiencing legal weed before it was legal in my state. So I would go to these cons and I had to learn all new ways of just communicating and new ways of, well, basically, you don't know the rules now. They have smoking areas for normal people. I would go walking past them and normally wait, skunks. Skunks and landmines, where are you? And I'd look over in the heated, wonderful smoking area, and there's just guys over there with a joint, and one of them with a gravity bong, 4 feet tall. I'm like, I'm home. But it's never in the hotels, and I really want to stress that. Like, even what I do now, like, I own a smoke buddy. Like, seriously, if you're not going to listen to me, fine, that's perfectly okay. Don't be an asshole. Go buy a smoke buddy. They are $20 on Amazon. It's a charcoal filter that you can exhale through, and it will filter out all that smoke. If you're gonna be an ass, at least be a smart ass about it. Smart ass. But constantly we would step outside the hotel, have our smokes, go back in at the end of the night, and one evening we were all standing out there, 6, 7 of us. We're all taking our heads. Now, this is post-pandemic. We've learned you don't smoke in the smoking area. That's for smokers. Some of them can't be around campus. They have jobs that don't let them. We go off on our own. So here's the lessons we've learned. Lesson 1. Hotels have a lot of chairs and tables and nonsense like that. Furries use all of them. When we descend on a hotel, everyone who has to set up at that hotel goes, Zanny, damn it. Everyone who has to set up at that hotel knows that they're going to be setting up everything. But where do they store that? They don't want to store all this in back of house. They store it in giant containers outside. So if you're really looking, usually at a FurCon, you can find a giant empty container. And that's where we smoke, because you know what? It's already empty. We can put our cell phone on in there. We can have music blaring, bouncing off the metal walls, and I'm sure no one will notice, so they noticed. They noticed immediately, and we hear, that was awesome. Like, oh shit. Open the big metal door to 3 security standing outside. None of them Dorsai, all of them hotel. Sorry, we'll go. They'll go. It's legal here. We want to join you. Yay! Better relationship with the hotel. It was genuinely fun. They were very laid back. We had our fun. We talked. We listened to music. And finally, it was time to go in. So we all masked up. And as we're walking back, I took my vape pen, me, Zanny, a few of our friends, we had our last hits, and we went inside. Well, now we're inside. We get on the elevator, to which it's me, Dragor, 2 members of the Dorsai, and Zanny. Here's what was seen from different viewpoints. Dragor saw the Dorsai enter the elevator, turned around just in time to see Zanny, wearing a mask, exhale a huge puff of smoke. Here's what everyone else saw. Thank you. Everyone else was a bit more cognizant of Zanny, who walked onto the elevator, burped, and exhaled a huge cloud of weed smoke. And we are all intelligent individuals. We were just intelligent enough to know that that couldn't happen, but stupid enough to realize we saw it, so it did. Did you just burp up weed smoke? Dragor is losing their mind because they think we're smoking in front of the Dorsai in an elevator. Rightful anger there. We get off the elevator. I'm dying laughing. Zanny is losing their mind, and that's when we realized it. We had hit the pen while walking back into the hotel. We had our masks on. The smoke wasn't stored in their lungs or their stomach or wherever they burped from. It was in their mask. So I gave a big inside my mask and a little bit of smoke came out, and that's when we realized for the entire weekend we had our own personal hot boxes that we were wearing on our face. Because the more you sweat, the less permeable those fucking masks get. So now we have a new idea. Wash the mask, go outside, put on mask, exhale, have good time. Please don't follow my advice. Oh, God. Pandas.
Yeah.
Lord Pandas.
Yeah.
This is your last year's contract.
It is. I've finished my 3-year term, and things are getting passed over at closing ceremonies.
That's wonderful. So, in other words, this convention's looking for a new con-chair, huh?
It's already been picked.
Sorry, Status. Nose goes. I think we have our next con-chair just sitting next to me, unwilling, which makes the best, right? Are you ready, Status? Status, I think you could do this, don't you?
Skip right over volunteer and staff.
No. Status, if you ran a convention, what's the first thing you would change? What's the first thing you would do?
The fact that we're at a furry convention, it's over if I take over.
The furry convention wouldn't end. Furries won't let furry conventions die. Hotels kill fur conventions. What would you do differently? What would you do if you were a con chair at a FurCon?
Well, there was talks of Boosie's masturbation panel, so I think that's got to happen.
Yep, you're con chair material.
Yep. I'm purposely selling my way out of it. Do not fucking do this to me, Des. I don't know. The con is genuinely great as it is, and I know how terrible that is. You're laughing.
No, I'm laughing because of AV.
Join IFC. Thank you, AV.
So I just want to point out that if I have made a pact with a friend that if after this convention I get recruited for staff, they have to join staff as well. So I need to know, is this a formal invitation?
All I know is you just made the staph infection infectious. Nailed it.
Yeah?
Is this an invitation to be con chair? I'm sorry, are you asking if the comedian who has nothing to do with the con anymore just made you con chair? Yes.
Hey, congratulations, you're co-con chair.
The con
You
counts.
signed up for this.
I'm literally waiting for operations to walk in here and go, oh my God.
No, I've come to terms with this. Hold on a minute. The second that I'm done with school and have some actual free time, that I'm probably going to end up running a convention, and that thought terrifies me. I just didn't think it'd be so soon.
Hey, these things happen. Boozy made one random tweet about what it would take to run the worst convention in the world, and 2 months later, Basement Con came into existence. Now we have insurance, and all the saws on the wall have been cleaned. I'm looking forward to it. 2 chainsaws? Nah. Yes, you definitely need to get a tetanus shot before coming to Basement Con. Don't ever forget how I was walked around the site for Basement Con. The owner walked us around the field, goes, over that way's a pond. Don't go near that. It's deep. Over that way's the big fire pit. That's where you put the big fires. That's the small fire pit. That's where you put the small fires. We didn't learn that. Giza immediately put a big fire 10 feet from the damn house. The fire reached the ceiling. Boozy and myself came outside, saw what was going on, said, Giza, what the hell are you doing? Giza went, don't worry, I'm a Boy Scout. To which Boozy replied, unless you are a firefighter, I don't fucking care. He then mentioned, and also, if you walk that way, be careful, them's the cows. They're surrounded by an electric fence. And looked into the distance, eyes lowered, and softly said, don't touch it. It packs a kick. That man definitely touched that fence. There is no doubt in my mind that he was out there one day. Ow. Because I know I wanted to. Des, how's your month been going?
So who here follows me on Twitter? So you know how my month is going. One of the things that the board of directors does not want to hear 2 weeks out from con is, the chairman's having emergency surgery and may not make it to the convention. This happened. Luckily, I did end up making it. But so about 2 weeks ago, let me start at the very beginning, my childhood. I had a belly button. It was an innie, like most people have. Then, about 10 years ago, it became an outie. This is what's referred...
A car?
Not an Audi.
Oh, okay.
An outie. Basically, my belly button popped inside out. This is called an umbilical hernia.
It's called the opposite of bubble wrap.
Basically, it looked like somebody had taken a balloon and stuck it into my belly button. It was just hanging out, which is not fun, but it didn't do anything. It didn't hurt. It was no painful. And my surgeon said, we don't want to do anything about this. And I said, why? And they said, you are a terrible surgical candidate. And I said, I didn't know I was applying to be a surgeon. But they said, no, if it's not hurting, if it's not causing you any problems, we're just going to leave it. And I'm like, okay, fine. 2 weeks before con, 10 years later, it decided to inflate. On the Monday 2 weeks ago, it started becoming painful, and I'm like, oh, this is weird. Maybe I just ate something weird. Maybe something, I'll just have some soup, see if I feel better the next day. By the next afternoon, my pain had gone from 2, 3, 4. I was at an 8. I was at work and I was at an 8, and I'm like, Okay, I leave work in 30 minutes. Hey, hun, what you doing right now? Nothing. Great. I'm driving straight home, and then you're driving me straight to the ER. So I went to the ER. It was about 8:30, 9 o'clock when I got there. They gave me Dilaudid, which is my new favorite drug. Woo!
My God.
My pain went from an 8 to a 0 in about 20 minutes. It was fantastic.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they said, okay, we're going to try and just manually take care of this. So I had 3 burly men pushing on my abdomen for 30 minutes, trying to fix this. I was kind of enjoying it, not gonna lie. Because I couldn't feel a thing, and I was just like, this is kind of funny. And they're like, shut up, we're trying to help you. After 30 minutes, they're like, yeah, so we can't do anything. Nothing is happening. So within a 2-hour time block, I went to CT, got the results, found out what the problem was, and they said, you're having surgery, and I had surgery at 2 o'clock in the morning that night.
Holy shit.
So I'm like, okay, great. This is 2 weeks before the event. As I was going into surgery, right before they took my phone away, my message to the board of directors, hey all, just letting you know, I'm going in for surgery. We'll let you know when I'm awake. My boyfriend was, of course, passed out asleep because they work the early shift, like they go in at 4 o'clock in the morning, so they hadn't even gotten an update from me. The board chat that night was a little bit, what the... I woke up about maybe 11 o'clock in the morning. It's raining, man. I woke up like 11 o'clock in the morning. There were 127 messages in the board chat.
Oh my God.
Trying to find out if anyone knew anything about me and what was going on. Because I didn't explain anything.
God.
And one of the first things I did when I woke up was not answer any of these messages. It was record a video.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Because it was his birthday just the other day, and Zanny had reached out to me and said, hey, do you mind recording a video message for Alkali, like we had people do for my birthday? I'm like, of course. And it was a little busy on Saturday and Sunday, I didn't have a chance, and then Monday I was like, well, I'm in pain, I don't have a chance to do this. So I'm there, groggy, waking up, like, board messages. Yep. Hey, Alkali, just wishing you a happy birthday. And that is what I sent to him from the hospital. Well, actually, no, I sent it to Zanny.
Sent it to Zanny.
Sent it to Zanny, which he then used in the video, which is kind of hilarious. But yeah, so I was in the hospital for only about 2 days. Yeah, so...
so you've had a month.
I've had a month. Luckily, I was able to recuperate enough to be here. They were like, we were planning like, what if you can't make it? What do we do? What's the contingency? Especially because I have almost as many panels as you do.
Yeah, I know.
So for me to not show up to them would kind of kick programming in the nuts, just a tiny bit. But I was able to make it. 24, 25 staples.
Really?
Getting them out tomorrow, so I drive straight to the hospital tomorrow from here in Michigan. Literally just get up in the morning and go get them out. I'm gonna say this right now, if there is not a giant electromagnet that I lie under, that they just flick it on and they go, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Dude, you know what it's gonna be. Staple remover.
Oh God. Hopefully not, but could be, who knows. But
who knows?
But yeah, that's. I mean, it's. I'm feeling fine now. Not in any pain. Just got to get these out.
Good.
But yeah. Number one, the minute things feel like they're going wrong for you, do not hesitate. Go to the hospital. And number two, Dilaudid is amazing.
My God. Des, I truly appreciated your horrifying birthday message, because Zanny had to compile them. It was my 40th birthday right before I came here, and Zanny compiled a bunch of them together, and it was very fun, and my friends are wonderful. And then Des pops up on the screen looking like they just got out of surgery, because they did, and like, what was your drug called?
Dilaudid?
Yeah, so there was definitely still some of that in their system, because I believe it went Happy birthday, Alkali. It was adorable. Also adorable on that exact same video, my friend Status over here had a wonderful segment ending with her father sticking his head in and saying, I still think you're a bad influence.
I just want to point out he insisted on doing that, by the way. I was like, I live with my dad, and I was just like, I need the living room for like 5 minutes to record something stupid. And he's like, okay, what do you have to do? And I was like, I have to record a birthday video for Alkali. And he goes, the only way you're using my living room is if I can tell that man he's a bad influence on his fucking birthday.
I adore that. You and your dad have a pretty good relationship. Like, I've heard you make fun of his age. That's fun.
It's a relationship, that's for sure.
I get that.
That's one way to put it. Yeah, I make fun of my dad's age all the time, but it's only because he does it to himself. A couple of weeks ago, I was getting ready to move back into college, which I did this week. Yeah, it's a real smart idea. I move into college on Sunday and then immediately take off on Thursday for a convention. It's great.
Well done.
Thank you. So right before that, I had barely seen my dad all summer because I had been working insane hours. So he decided to meet for dinner one night, and I had gotten there before him, and so I'm sitting down at the table, and I come in, and he comes in the door of the restaurant, and he is fuming about something, and I can tell from a distance that he's fuming about something. And as he sits down, I look at him, I was like, hey, what's going on? And he holds up that he's carrying something. He goes, I got a letter. I'm like, all right, this is the most depressing episode of Blue's Clues ever, but go on. I go, all right, Mark, so who's the letter from? And he goes, AARP. And already he knows he just walked in the rest of the dinner. I'm like, oh, it's getting pretty late, Pops. We gotta get shit to bed, you know. Did you eat enough? Do you need me to blend that for you? You know, which nursing home's looking good these days, you know? Yeah. And finally, I'm like, all right, Dad, open it up. We got to see what it is. We got to see maybe it was sent to the wrong address or something, because we just moved and we bought the house from an elderly couple, so maybe it was the wrong one. So he opens it up and he's staring at it for a minute, and he's getting more and more pissed as he's staring at it. I was like, everything okay there? And he's like, no. I was like, why? What does it say? And he goes, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I left my reading glasses in the car. 100% true story. Hi, Dad.
Oh my God. All right, that's amazing.
Right?
That is unbelievable. Me and, actually, since I moved out, I think a lot of you know this, I finally have a relationship with my family again, because apart, we can stand each other. Together, well, that chandelier might not have been the only thing on that stage that contemplated murder, let's be honest here. My parents wanted to kill me all the time. Rightfully so. Me and my brother were destructive. Very destructive. And we had the tendency to just assume things like, oh, we can borrow the car. I might have, asked to borrow it for the weekend. Where are you going to go? Nero. Live action role playing. They know what Nero is. They know it's in DeKalb. What they don't know is Nero is international. Yeah, I was going to Nero, but in Canada. What I didn't know is my dad always knows the miles on their speedometer, because they are far more OCD than I will ever be. And I got home and we got into the car, sat down. He hasn't even started it yet. An old car with one of the rotary speedometers. Looks over at me, he goes, you want to tell me where you actually went? I said, Nero. And he said, okay. Where? And I go, you didn't ask that before I took the car. And he go, I will from now on. We have a pretty good relationship now, and he knows that I do this. He knows that I have lost my job, which was a horrible conversation. a horrible conversation. Because don't forget, your parents care about you. They want the best for you. But they also grew up in a totally different time. So what is the first thing my dad tells me? Like, yeah, I lost my job. I'm going to try something else. He goes, you should become a cop. You're huge. Well, I told him I'm going to be doing my show full time. And he said, well, since this is what you're doing, I would like to see it. And then last night I had to rhyme about masturbation while one of my best friends talked about my dick for 2 hours. I think I'm going to tell my dad that I don't have any material and I'm homeless. It's easier this way. So much easier. Because it's where I get my material from. Like, obviously, what we do up here, what we come up with, it's all from our past. Everything here has been building over years. That's the personality, that's the comedy. Shel Silverstein's The Great Smoke-Off. We were talking about that earlier. That was one of my all-time favorites, finding out that Shel Silverstein, author of Where the Sidewalk Ends, Light in the Attic, The Giving Tree, was also a dirty, dirty motherfucker who made amazing songs like The Great Goddamn Smoke-Off. If you've never heard it, you can find it on YouTube Music, you can find it on Spotify. It's quite wonderful. I did a video. If you want to see me reciting The Great Smoke-Off, I did a video and put it up on YouTube. But to do that, I needed to listen to the song over and over and over. So in my car, on the way home, I would put on YouTube Music, I would put on The Great Smoke-Off, and I'd put it on repeat. And one day I forgot to hit repeat. The Great Smoke-Off played, and the next song of that genre from YouTube Music started playing. Jesus loves us, yes he does. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! Skip! The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. Skip. The next song I can't sing because it took me a full minute to realize it was a recital to music of songs. And I stopped, and in the car, I just busted out laughing. Because the transitive law has to be in effect. If somebody on YouTube Music puts in the wheels on the bus go round and round, Jesus loves me, or the Psalms rap, there is a chance that YouTube Music will go to The Great Smoke-Off by Shel Silverstein, and I want to be in the car when the parents have to explain that one to the toddlers in the back who think, you know what, this Jesus thing, I can't wait to move out because fuck you. I adore YouTube Music for that. Don't you ever tell them, because I just want it to happen once. I just need to know somewhere out there, Mom and Dad had to pull over and explain the laws of cannabis to their kids.
So related to that, I have a younger brother and he is 6 years old. And by the age of 4, he knew the words to the Drag It Show theme song and would run around the house singing it. And what I think is funny, so my mother does not really know too much about what goes on here. She knows of Alkali, but not really what he does. And my little brother just thinks every tall person is Alkali, and it's hysterical.
Awesome.
So, since we're talking about cannabis, Great Smoke-Off, you know what my next song parody has to be?
What's that?
Weed!
Jesus Christ. Speaking of music, up here we have the great Status Ferret, and I think we would be very remiss not to share their talent with all of you. Do you guys want to hear some music from Status? Come on, do you guys want to hear music from Status? That's it! Ladies and gentlemen, both and neither, Status Ferret!
Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Wow, this is a lot of pressure.
No God can help you now.
I know, right? So this is from the album. It is the last track on there, and it's a song I am incredibly proud of. And it's called "I'm on Fire, but I'm Fine." I didn't believe Bo Burnham when he said my phone helps me dissociate, and it gives me a disorder when I'm grown. But now I'm sitting in the Starbucks line and I'm realizing I've spent my life as an NPC in someone else's world. Someone told me when I was 14 there was a chance I might have ADHD, and I didn't believe them because I was young and naive. But now I'm 21, and now that I'm a full adult, my disorder is now my personality. I'm having a breakdown and it's the best one of my life. What's the point of trying to make everything right? The spiral's draining down, so I throw up my hands and I enjoy the ride. Believe me when I say that I'm on fire. But I'm fine, do-do-do. But I'm fine, do-do-do. But I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me as long as I don't think. If I don't, then I don't have to be a person much at all. If you perceive me, then that's fine, but that's your fault. Believe me, I want nothing more than your expectations to be low. When I was young, my parents told me I was smart, and I took their words and I brought them all to heart. I never wanted to let them down, you see, so I lowered the bar so gently, and now I'm a store-bought man with ADHD. And yes, I'm still on that, it's my only personality. I'm having a breakdown, and it's the best one of my life. What's the point of trying to make everything right? The spiral's draining down, so I throw up my hands and I enjoy the ride. Believe me when I say that I'm on fire. But I'm fine, do-do-do. But I'm fine, do-do-do. But I'm fine. And now I'm stuck with finishing this song. And it kills me, 'cause what if I write something wrong? Will people still think of me as a well-rounded guy? I think that it's worth a try if I could ever make up my mind. I liked it better when I didn't have to think or breathe or remember that I was alive. I'm having a breakdown and it's the best one of my life. What's the point of trying to make everything right? The spiral's draining down, so I throw up my hands and I enjoy the ride. Believe me when I say that I'm on fire. I'm having a breakdown and it's the best one of my life. What's the point of trying to make everything right? The spiral's draining down, so I throw up my hands and I enjoy the ride. Believe me when I say that I'm on fire. But I'm fine, do-do-do. But I'm fine, do-do-do. But I'm fine. But I'm fine. But I'm fine. One more? Are you sure? I'm sure. Okay.
One more song. 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 You doing an instrument change?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I can.
Oh.
It's gonna take me 20 minutes, but I can. No, I need lyrics. Sorry, I usually don't do this, but I added something at the last minute to this. This is a song also from the album. This was written in November of last year, and it was written about a promise that I made to a friend that I would save my first drink for him. And last night there was another promise made, so a verse needed to be added. So I hope you enjoy this song. It's called The Promise. promised back in 2019 I'd save this drink for you. I had so little time left, and yet so much to do. You and I, we were so young, it felt like ages ago. But we survived it this far, and still have decades to go. I promised back in 2019 I'd save this drink for you. I never let go of that promise, and I hope you never did too. I promised you at IFC that I would see the day that I turn 80 and still be a furry, and to that I have to say I didn't think I'd see 18, so 80 is pushing the limit. But I promise you, my ferret friend, for you I'll try my damnedest. I promised back in 2019 I'd save this drink for you. I never let go of that promise, and I hope you never did too. I promised you way back when so many things I couldn't keep. I promised you that I would be the best that I could be. I promised you way back when so many things I couldn't do. But yet you're still here, and yet you're still you. I promised back a while ago that I'd still be alive. Made that promise to myself, and I kept it out of spite. I promised you so many things, but this one I could keep. So here's to you, and here's to me. Forever friends we shall be. I promised back in 2019 I'd save this drink for you. I never let go of that promise. I promised back in 2019 I'd save this drink for you. I never let go of that promise, and I hope you never did too.
All right, no more songs.
Yeah, that's probably a good move.
Ladies, gentlemen, both or neither, please give it up for Status Ferret. Oh, I'm going to get you for that one.
Yeah, like you got me for the other 400 times I've made you cry this convention.
Yeah, screw you.
Yeah, that was one of them.
Smart ass. Everybody sitting up here on this stage got to do this because of the fandom. Years ago, I was filming at a open mic at FCN. And Uncle Kage grabbed me and told me that it was my turn, knowing that I was the improv guy, and made me do a 5-minute set. And after doing that, he had me open for him. And that moment changed who I was. I have always been an MC. Most of the time I had played the straight man in everything that I did. And being silly and just having a good time let me do that. Pandez walked up into improv after going, I believe, if I remember correctly, you had gone to 3 of the shows without ever participating. Is that
Something
right?
like that, yeah.
Yeah, Pandez tried. Pandez got up there one day, jumped up onto the stage, and gave it his all, and I laughed myself silly. And after that, Pandez started showing up on the stage more. And Status, I've known you for quite some time, and you just showed up in the fandom and took this by storm. Guys, if there's a talent you have, if there's something you want to showcase, you're in the right place to do it. You have the stage, you have the talent, you have the time. Please, for the love of God, show us these talents, get up here and have fun. We love you all so much. This fandom is the greatest thing that has ever happened to so many of us. Thank you for making it what it is, everyone.
Yes, I can do a fun song. I can do a Weird Al song if you want me to.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, both and neither, we do need to make sure this room is set for closing. So to finish it off, we're going to do a fun song from Status. Status, what are we doing?
I'm going to sing a Weird Al song.
We're going to give you one last song. Let's hear it one more time for Status!
I could not do a Broadway-themed convention without singing my favorite Weird Al song of all time. This is a song called Skipper Dan.
Yes!
Started every high school play, blew every drama teacher away. I graduated first in my class at Juilliard. Took every acting workshop I could, and I dreamed of Hollywood, while I read my Uta Hagen and studied the Bard. Hit the Forbes and paid my dues, and got phenomenal rave reviews. I knew the world was gonna love me without a doubt. I was sure that Tarantino would be calling me on the phone, and Leibowitz would shoot me for Rolling Stone. But the years have come and gone, and I'm sorry to say that's not the way that it's all worked out. I'm a tour guide on the Jungle Cruise ride. Skipper Dan is the name, and I'm doing 34 shows every day, and every time it's the same. Look at those hippos, they're wiggling their ears, just like they've done for the last 50 years. Now I'm laughing at my own jokes, but I'm crying inside, 'cause I'm working on the Jungle Cruise ride. Oh, the critics, they used to say I was the new Olivier. Thought I'd be the toast of Sundance, or maybe Cannes. But don't bother trying to IMDb me. The only place you might possibly see me is riding my little boat around Adventureland. It ain't exactly what I planned, but I'm a tour guide on the Jungle Cruise ride. Skipper Dan is the name, and I'm doing 34 shows every day, and every time it's the same. I would have killed if I'd been in Speed the Plow, but what's the difference? It's all behind me now, 'cause I'm paying the rent, and I'm swallowing my pride, and I'm working on the Jungle Cruise ride. I should be there on Broadway, knocking them dead in 12 Angry Men. But instead I'm here telling these lame jokes again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Bengal tigers can jump over 20 feet. That's an African bull elephant. And there it is, the backside of water. What have I done with my life? I should have listened when my grandfather said, why don't you major in business instead? Now my hopes have all vanished and my dreams have all died, and I'll probably work forever as a tour guide on the Jungle Cruise ride. Skipper Dan is the name, and I'm doing 34 shows every day, and every time it's the same. Look at those hippos, they're wiggling their ears. Somebody shoot me 'cause I'm bored to tears. Always said I'd be famous, I guess that I lied, 'cause I'm working on the Jungle Cruise ride. I'm still working on the Jungle Cruise ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, both and neither, this has been the Three-Headed Monster. Give it up for Status Man! For Lord Pandez! My name is Alkali. You can find me on the twitch.tv/AlkaliandZanny. Up next in here is the most bittersweet thing, closing ceremonies. Enjoy the rest of your con. Enjoy the night. Find time with your friends. Good night, everyone.
Silver Gattoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gattoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gatoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.